Central and Local Government Bunker Survey. This section contains a survey of each level of government showing the bunker or emergency centre for each, and in terms of parish councils showing what provision was made by respondents to a parish authority questionnaire. Note: protective factors (PF) where provided are the ratio of the outside to the inside level of radiation. The higher the PF, the better the protection afforded by the building. Sub-Regional Headquarters. Home Defence Region 3.2. Address: Burder Street, Loughborough, Leicestershire. OS Grid Reference SK541205. Now completely demolished, this former World War II cold store was converted into Home Defence Sub-Regional Control 3.2 in 1973. It had as many as 100 rooms, would have accommodated nearly 200 civil servants, and spanned some 3.5 acres of land. A combination of high maintenance costs, the end of the Cold War, and the local borough council, Charnwood, constructing a new purpose-built bunker at its own premises, meant that in May 1994 it was put up for sale. The Home Office used W.S. Atkins Property Services in Nottingham as agents for the sale. By July of the same year, after consideration of some 100 purchase applications, it was actually acquired by the same local authority, Charnwood Borough Council. There was quite a debate over the use of the land, and initially it was planned to be used for housing. However, in the end it was decided to be used as the location for a new industrial park backed by £1.3 million of government funding. The demolition process itself cost some £200,000 and began in October 1996. However, before demolition, Charnwood Borough Council decided to give tours to the public, and open days were held in May 1996. Charnwood were quite surprised at the level of interest, and some 1,000 people attended the tours, which had been advertised in the local press and on Radio Leicester. However, beforehand the Ministry of Defence stripped bare nearly all of the rooms. Joe Headley, who was then a Loughborough Echo reporter, wrote a descriptive piece on the tour. Long whitewashed corridors give way to more long whitewashed corridors that hint at a cross between a psychiatric hospital and a prison block. On the ground floor, the decontamination unit is the first point of call for anyone entering from outside. After that, the rest of the floor is given over to identical offices, conference rooms, and a strong room, believed to have been intended for documents and firearms. Like the corridors, the rooms too are white and featureless. On the first floor, the story is the same here. Here door labels identify identical male and female dormitories, bathrooms, common rooms, and a gleaming 60s-style canteen kitchen that is as good as new. In fact, the kitchen is one of the few places that suggests the possibility of real life, mostly thanks to familiar objects such as stoves and coffee machines. But, like all the others, it is also a big, white, cold expanse. The vast but crowded plant rooms are perhaps the eeriest of all. Here you find huge antiquated air conditioning systems, compressors, air filters, generators, and other weird and wonderful gadgetry. Otherwise, all that is left of fixtures and fittings throughout the bunker is a host of pipes and flues and a brown, office-style carpet. The whitewashed corridors, however, have bare floors that only add to the feeling of incarceration. Leicestershire County Council. County HQ. Address: County Hall, Glenfield, Leicester. OS Grid Reference SK557068. Protective Factor 600. The County HQ bunker is located at the end of the entrance passage leading off from the visitors' car park. Despite assumptions and newspaper articles to the contrary, it is entirely at ground level. The deception of seeming below ground is caused by the raised front entrance at County Hall, from where you have to take a lift right down to it. There were no special reinforcement measures, and in particular it lacked blast doors. Like so many of the council bunkers, the plan opposite shows there would have been a great deal of earth mounding and sandbagging required to offer any kind of protection. The procedures for its preparation and occupation are clearly laid out in the county civil defence plan. A Leicester Mercury newspaper article claims it would have housed as many as 120 officials, but the plan prescribes this figure as nearer 50. The types of roles closely followed those of the districts, but with better resources and a large control bunker area, it was anticipated all posts would have been filled. Blaby District Council. District Number 6. Address: Council Offices, Narborough. OS Grid Reference: SP539977. Protective Factor: 500. While having one of the more modest control centres, Blaby District Council does however have a unique reinforcement method. The 4 office windows are just inside a perimeter wall, with the gap being partly filled with sand under emergency conditions. Stockpiled in the rear car park were large concrete slabs which would have been laid down and held up wedge-deep in the sand against the windows to provide protection. Now a finance office, the council control centre is to the rear of building. It is divided into 4 sections: 1 main control room, a manager's office, a utility room and a communications room. As well as the ECN unit, the communications room has a ladder leading to an emergency exit. On the walls still are some large-scale maps showing the UKWMO reporting boundaries and a bomb-toed grid. These are soon to be cleared and hopefully preserved for historical record. Charnwood Borough Council until 1991. District Number 2. Address: Council Offices, Southfields, Leicester Road, Loughborough. OS Grid Reference: SK537193. Protective Factor: 450. During the 1980s, Charnwood Borough Council had no more than a modest converted basement acting as a control centre. It appears as though it was no more than a token gesture to meet with legal requirements to have a local authority bunker. It could have housed no more than a handful of people, and in particular it lacked a protective blast door. The entrance is a simple wooden internal door from which you make your way down a stone stairwell with a rope along one side for support. At the bottom of the steps straight ahead is a cupboard which used to house telephone equipment, long since removed. To the left of this cupboard is the main operations room, and to the right is a storeroom complete with discarded wash basin on the top shelf. If you step back to the bottom of the stairwell and turn immediately left, you see an adjoining room housing an electricity generator, but this in no way was designed to provide independent power. It was obvious that if Charnwood needed a proper control centre to deal with local emergencies such as a Kegworth air crash, a new purpose-built centre should be constructed. This is exactly what was to happen in the early 1990s. Charnwood Borough Council from 1991. District Number 2. Address: Council Offices, Southfields, Leicester Road, Loughborough. OS Grid Reference: SK537193. Protective Factor: 800. The newest and one of the most reinforced bunkers in the county. Construction began in March 1990 and was completed in late 1991. It was built under the new council office wing, and the entrance is at the bottom of the staff entrance stairwell. The plan to build it was not without controversy, however. The Leicester Mercury at the time reported heated debates between councillors on whether to give the go-ahead for the project, particularly as the Cold War was beginning to thaw. At the bottom of the stairwell, the entrance door has a blast door fitted to it to add protection. On entering the bunker, you see a large operations room with 4 separate rooms at one end and a door at the other leading to the various utility compartments. When first built, this was one big open-plan room, but it was decided to separate them off at one end to provide some partitioning for sleeping quarters. It was planned that these 4 rooms would have bunk beds installed within, but are now used as a secure storage for council ballot boxes. Within the main operations room are the ECN unit, emergency switchboard, radio equipment, a telex printer server box, and on the wall to the right of the entrance door are the overpressure valves. Emergency air venting runs right around the ceiling. Turning to the utility rooms, these are reinforced with heavy blast doors separating each compartment. On opening the door to the utility rooms can be seen the emergency electricity generator. It is kept in immaculate condition and is fed by a pipe connected to 2 large diesel tanks. It is anticipated these could power the bunker for at least 14 days. Turning right, you step into the decontamination shower room. There are a large quantity of water bottles kept to top up the water tank. This room can also be accessed directly from outside via a heavy blast door to the left of the main door. Continue forward and you find the chemical toilet. Again, this section is separated with a blast door. Finally, at the end is the emergency air venting, which connects back through to the piping on the ceiling around the main operations room. Harborough District Council. District Number 8. Address: Adam and Eve Street, Market Harborough. OS Grid Reference SP735874. Protective Factor 500. The Harborough Control Centre is in fact its own staff social club. There are no extra protection measures visible, so earth mounding and sandbagging would have been used. Through the entrance doors in a small cupboard to the right is all of the radio communications equipment. Further along the wall, another cupboard houses the emergency air filtration, complete with large nuclear hazard warning sign. The white boards next to that cupboard cover the windows and therefore visible from the old entrance door outside. The social club has its own kitchen, and to the right of this are the toilets, but there is no emergency electricity generator or water storage tank. On the opposite side to the kitchen is the NALGO Union office, which would have been the district controller's office. Going back through the entrance door, there is a side room, which has the ECN unit inside. Interestingly, the ECN unit has a plaque showing the next district up in the chain, which was Oadby and Wigston Borough Council. Hinckley and Bosworth Borough Council. Standby County HQ and District Number 4. Address: Argentsmead, St Mary's Road, Hinckley. OS Grid Reference SP426939. Protective Factor 600. The council bunker is located down a stairwell off from the main reception, which has a small entrance gate at the top. As stated above, it was in fact the county control standby, which explains its larger than average ECN unit. Despite its importance, this council bunker has no additional reinforcement and certainly never had blast doors. As indicated on the plan opposite, sandbagging would have been needed for protection. In essence, this bunker is one long corridor with designated rooms down either side. One or two interesting features still remain, including a bomb-toed grid, UKWMO boundary map, air ventilation ducting and a power isolation switch. Leicester City Council. District Number 5. Address: Municipal Offices, Charles Street, Leicester. OS Grid Reference: SK589044. Protective Factor: 700. Despite Leicester City Council's nuclear-free zone status and its opposition to civil defence planning, it still possesses, although underprotected, a well-laid-out bunker. Indeed, as part of the council's negative campaigning against anything nuclear defense-related, it held many open days to visit the bunker during the 1980s in an attempt to show the public its inadequacies. Anna Cheetham is chair of Leicester CND Group. I remember visiting the city council bunker and realizing it offered almost no protection against atomic missile attack. You must remember, at one time the city of Leicester itself was considered a high-risk target. Taking the stairwell down 2 flights of stairs to the basement, there is a lift in operation during peacetime. You find the double-door bunker entrance. Through the doorway 2 corridors lead down opposite sides. Branching off from these are the various nominated rooms, clearly marked in black lettering on distinctive yellow boards. These rooms include the District Controller's Office, Science Information Offices, Telex Room, Operations Room, Plant Room, First Aid Post, Food and Water Store, Canteen and Kitchen. Unfortunately, some of the rooms were inaccessible due to unavailability of the keys and the area being used for storage. Melton Borough Council until 1987. District Number 3. Address: Edgerton Lodge, Wilton Road, Melton Mowbray. OS Grid Reference: SK750192. Protective Factor: 450. Now a residential home for the elderly, Edgerton Lodge provided the offices for Melton Borough Council until 1987. The building itself dates back 1829 and, not untypical of a building of its kind, has an elaborate basement deceptively bigger than the impression given from the outside. The basement was therefore ideal for use as the council bunker. As an interesting aside, it is rumored that the building has an underground link to the nearby St. Mary's Church. Indeed, I photographed stone steps leading straight into a brick wall, which point in the direction of the church. However, a written answer from the Melton Mowbray and District Historical Society dismisses the rumor, stating, "Geology makes a tunnel from Edgerton Lodge to the church most unlikely. Flooding is the culprit." The basement has now been converted into a kitchen and laundrette and been largely modernized, but the main corridor leading to what would have been the various operations rooms is still clearly identifiable. There is a strong room at the end of the corridor, possibly once used to house emergency equipment. Also in the basement is the electricity generator, although I was unable to confirm if this could run independent of the mains supply. Melton Borough Council from 1987. District Number 3. Address: Council Offices, Nottingham Road, Melton Mowbray. OS Grid Reference: SK747196. Protective Factor: 700. The council moved to new purpose-built offices in 1987 and sited the council bunker at the rear of the building. The interior is split into 4 rooms. Directly ahead from the entrance is the operations room, which is now taken up with storage, but also has the ECN unit against the wall just inside the entrance door, and various charts on the far wall. The charts include a bomb tote grid and a full-scale UKWMO boundary map. There is a smaller version of the latter focusing on Leicestershire, showing ROC posts and their reporting stations. Also on this same map is a number of tiny graphics depicting bomb bursts presumably left over from a Home Office exercise. Interestingly, there are various wind speed direction charts possibly to be used in relation to a conventional or suspicious chemical incident. Looking to your left from inside the entrance door is the communications room, which at one time housed the ECN unit, emergency switchboard and various radio and telephone equipments. However, the communications room has been cleared and locked for use solely by the local RayNet group. To the right is the emergency generator room, which can power the bunker, totally independent of the mains. Further along the right-hand wall there is a store cupboard which is stocked up with sleeping bags and various pieces of monitoring equipment. Also inside the store cupboard is the air filtration equipment leading to an external filter and the emergency escape hatch leading to grating in the rear council car park. As with most council bunkers, it is used now mainly for filing and storage, but could easily be made active. It is probably the most prepared of all the ones I have visited. North West Leicestershire District Council. District Number 1. Address: Council Offices, London Road, Colville, Leicestershire. OS Grid Reference SK428142. Protective Factor 200. Roy Heaton is Head of Administration. The Emergency Control Centre in use at these offices during the 1980s was a ground-floor office, near to the main reception and the office of the Chief Executive, the officer responsible for the Council's response to an emergency situation. It measured approximately 5 meters by 5.5 meters and displayed on one wall was a large-scale plan of the district and a number of telephone points for both the ordinary telephone system and the emergency planning telephone system. As Mr. Heaton explains, the room clearly had its limitations in a war scenario. Whilst this room was identified for use in an emergency, it also served as a multi-purpose meetings room, particularly for the Chief Executive. Given that the room was an ordinary office on the ground floor, it did not offer any superior protection against certain of the civil defense risks that existed at the time and in previous decades. However, it was a most useful room that could be activated as a control center in the event of any civil emergency. Oadby and Wigston Borough Council. District Number 7. Address: Bushlow House, Station Road, Wigston. OS Grid Reference SP602988. Protective Factor 450. To the rear of the building behind the cashier desks is the council basement, which has been converted into the council bunker. It is the smallest of all the council basement-level constructions and would have been intended to house 7 staff for a period of 14 days or more. Conditions would have been extremely cramped and, as Jim Walker, emergency planning officer, puts it, almost unbearable for any sustained period of time. Indeed, going to the toilet under such arrangements doesn't bear thinking about. Through the entrance door, the bunker's operation room is one small passage with an alcove at either end. Connected to this through an emergency escape hatch is the boiler room, which houses the emergency electricity generator fed from 2 large diesel tanks. The bunker is complete with very large water tank, wash basin and tap, ECN unit, air filtration equipment and communications hardware, computer and radio. There is also a large number of emergency planning documents filed in a box on the operations room desk. One unique aspect of this bunker is the sleeping arrangements. Now taken up with council tax payment records files, one corner of the first alcove would have been used to hang hammock beds. Rutland District Council, now County Council. District Number 9. Address: Council Offices, Cattinmose, Oakham. OS Grid Reference SK864085. Protective Factor 600. Rutland during the 1980s was of course still part of Leicestershire and therefore included in the county emergency planning arrangements. The council is extremely sensitive about its bunker provision and indeed denies even having one. Fortunately, access was afforded to the local newspaper, the Rutland Times, who I am grateful to for the photographs to verify this claim. Though only a basic office basement, it is to all intents and purposes the council control room. The key is the presence of an ECN unit bomb-toed grid actually filled in possibly from a home office exercise such as Exercise Tri-X and UKWMO boundary map. I am reliably informed at one time it also had a red phone which was a hotline to the nearby RAF Cottesmore base. Again, this bunker is extremely cramped, although still bigger than Oadby and Wigston Control. With the nearby RAF North Luffnham and Cottesmore bases acting as the Armed Forces Command for the county and both within 4 miles, and undoubtedly military targets, its survival prospects were probably slim at best. Parish councils. In remote parts of Leicestershire, the role of the parish council would have been vital for survivors and in particular keeping links with the local district HQ, most likely by radio equipment supplied by Raynet. Each parish had a nominated civil defence coordinator, usually the parish clerk, who would have attended defence meetings at county or district council offices. They would have been required to ensure each householder had a copy of the Government Protect and Survive documents and advise on actions to take. The coordinator would report to a nominated parish controller, usually the parish council chairman, who would lead the parish defence effort. He or she would be required to maintain the parish survival plan issued from County Hall. Parish survival plans contain a lot of government information, but the key document is the parish emergency information sheets, which detail arrangements under key headings. These headings include makeup of the population, telephone preference number, principal reporting parish, details of accommodation in the parish, feeding centres, water stocks, first aid posts and location of attack warning receivers, sirens and maroon rockets. A parish controller would also be required to nominate people for a number of parish ward duties. Food officer, feeding centre supervisor, breast centre officer, billeting officer, shelter officer, information officer, hygiene officer, burial officer, water officer, protect and survive officer, radiological reporting operators, fuel officer, transport officer, first aid officer, conservation and salvage officer, law and order officer, fire officer, building repair officer, manpower officer. A parish control HQ would have a preferred telephone line in keeping with the telephone preference scheme, often the parish controller's home number. For radiation monitoring purposes, smaller parishes would be grouped and have a master or principal reporting parish. However, as Group Captain Wally Bainbridge found, some parish councils would not be prepared to be involved in any civil defence planning. Mrs. Cecily Nesbitt, coordinator during 1980s, Kilby Parish Council, I think in all honesty it was like a sticking plaster on a broken leg. I appreciate something had to be done and some preparations made, but it seemed so futile. As I recall, it never felt real, somehow as if it was too dreadful to contemplate. However, despite this I carried out the preparatory work as best I could, despite there being little enthusiasm for it at parish meetings. I think the council took the view that it was just one extra responsibility it could have done without. Ms. Audrey Flower, councillor since 1979 and now chair, Thurcaston and Cropston Parish Council. I had lived through the Second World War and I related it all to that. I went to a civil defense seminar in the council chamber at County Hall, which I know was well attended because I was stuck right at the back. One thing that sticks in my mind from this seminar was that they intended to store dead animals in swimming pools for food. I was quite horrified at this, as I used to swim regularly at Loughborough swimming baths, and I couldn't get this image out of my mind of the baths being filled in this manner. Reporting to the parish council, it was agreed to divide the parish up amongst the 6 councillors and each look after their own area. My father had been an air raid warden in the Second World War, and so I saw it as a similar role, checking everyone was going to be alright. I acquired a copy of the local electoral roll and made sure I knew the area inside out by pacing it out on foot. A particular problem in this parish would have been that we lacked properties with cellars, so as far as possible we planned to utilize the local public house ones. Just as in the war, we did the work required of us because after all it was our duty. Ms. Moira Wheeler, councillor during 1980s, Foxton Parish Council. I attended a number of seminars at County Hall with my husband, but initially I found it quite boring. It wasn't until we were shown around the county council bunker that it suddenly sunk in that this was all for real and that maybe they knew something we didn't. I had cheekily asked if they had somewhere to go, then what about the rest of us? The answer was in short that we had to make our arrangements in each of our respective parishes. The work involved seemed quite daunting, but once we got into it I began to find it quite interesting, and I felt as if I was part of something important. There was a lot of form filling and surveying of the types of properties we had in the village. One thing I particularly remember is that we nominated the committee room at the village hall to place all of those that would have been killed. But looking back realistically, when they spelled out to us the effects of these weapons, skin burns, etc., it didn't seem possible for any arrangements to have worked effectively. Mrs. D. M. Wright Clark during 1980s, Alton-on-the-Wold's Parish Council, Charnwood Borough Council organised 2 civil defence seminars at Loughborough Town Hall. I have to say the people taking the meetings got very exasperated about people not being able to control their English sense of humour. I mean, that is how we dealt with it. It was all too ghastly to contemplate, and when you are faced with such things your humour often comes to the fore. But I don't think the planners quite saw it that way. Alton-on-the-Wolds isn't a highly populated parish, but it covers a large area, and so to make any arrangements required the cooperation of the local people. Fortunately, everyone wanted to help, and in particular identifying long-since forgotten water supplies was extremely useful. Looking back, I think the nuclear threat was just one of those things you learned to live with, like the threat the IRA posed. I personally believed our possession of the bomb and the theory of mutual assured destruction, as it was then known, was the reason peace was maintained. Of course, we all just felt that if the nuclear button had been pressed it would mean the end of everything, but what the planners tried to get across is that there would be people on the edges who would survive, and we had to give them some chance of making a recovery. Mr. Clive Brett, councillor during 1980s, Braunston Town Council. I attended civil defence seminars at County Hall as my interest was twofold. Firstly, of course, I was representing Braunston Town Council, but I was also a member of CND at the time, so I was quite interested from that point of view as well as to what the planners were up to. We were shown a diagram of the effects of a nuclear explosion, and moving outwards from the center what percentage of people could be expected to be killed. They had identified GEC Electrical at Whetstone as a potential target and the nearest threat to the County Hall bunker. I recall when we were shown around the bunker that I felt it was all very amateurish and almost Dad's Army-like an approach with antiquated equipment. Another recollection was that they saw the mining pits as ideal protection and planned to get as many miners as possible to shelter in them, presumably as a useful source of manual labor when they were able to emerge. How they thought they were going to get them to abandon their families I am not quite sure. The town council itself planned to utilize the basement of the nearby Shakespeare public house as a shelter, but realistically I would not have left my family behind, and in any case it would be hypocritical for a member of CND to follow the government's protect and survive advice. AB Kettleby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, The Willows, Warbnaby Road. Anstey Parish Council. No detailed civil defence planning records still available, however, the following buildings had been nominated as suitable locations for rest centres, feeding centres, information centre and first aid post. Anstey Martin High School. Walden Hill School. Latimer School. St Mary's Church. Methodist Church. URC. Anstey Scout Hall. Memorial Pavilion. Arnsby Parish Council. Coordinator Mr. P. Murdoch. Wartime HQ, Sunnydean, Mill Hill Road. Bunker Cellar of Sunnydean, Mill Hill Road. Warning Siren, Sunnydean, Mill Hill Road. Asfordby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Parish Hall. Ashby de la Zouche Town Council. Wartime HQ, Old Courthouse, South Street, Ashby de la Zouche. Ashby Magna Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Ashby Magna Village Hall, Peveril Road. Warning Siren, Manor Farm, Peveril Road. Ashwell Parish Council. Telephone preference. Scheme Kiosk at Cottesmore Road, Ashwell. Wartime HQ, Ashwell Village Hall. Barkby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Barkby Village Hall, Beebe Road. Barrow-upon-Soar Parish Council. Controller Mr. B. Henman. Bunker Cellar of the Old People's Home on Church Street, Barrow-upon-Soar. Barradon Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Barradon Village Hall, Wakeley Road, Barradon. Beaver Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Hall, Harston. Birstall Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Birstall Village Hall, Birstall Road. Bitterswell Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Bitterswell Village Hall, Manor Road. Blaby Parish Council. Coordinator Mrs. Lee. Telephone preference scheme Stokes C.V. Primary School, Queens Road. Thistly Meadow County Primary School, Hospital Lane. Wartime HQ, Church of England Schoolrooms, Church Street. Warning Receiver, County Arms, Glenparva. Warning Siren, County Arms, Glenparva. Feeding Centre, Stoke C.V. Primary School, Queens Road. Thistly Meadow County Primary School, Hospital Lane. C.V. Schoolrooms, Church Street. Egyptian Queen Public House, Cedar Road. Water Supplies, River Sense. Pond at Blaby Hall. Pond on Grove Road. Countess Thorpe Brook. First Aid Post, Congregational Rooms. Methodist Church. Trendsetter Co-op. Tom Thumb Public House. Dr. Pritchard Surgery. Dr. Taylor's Surgery. Social Center, Rear Room, Main Hall. Rest Center, Methodist Church. Jehovah's Witness Church. Wesley Rugby Club. Egyptian Queen Public House, Cedar Road. Stokes C.V. Primary School, Queens Road. Black Horse Public House, Cross Street. Bull's Head Public House, Lutterworth Road. Information Center, Cis Enderby Road. Burial Cemeteries, Mill Lane. Braunston in Rutland Parish Council. Coordinator B. Hazel Grove. Warning receiver, The Manor, Church Street. Warning siren, The Manor, Church Street. Braunston Town Council. Coordinator, Mr. P. M. Light. Wartime HQ, Civic Center. Warning siren, as above. Brook Parish Meeting. Coordinator, R. L. Air. Broughton and Alby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Grimston Tunnel. Bunker, as above. Warning siren, Ream Depot. Burbage Parish Council. Wartime HQ, St. Catherine's Church Hall, Hinckley Road. Warning siren, gas transmission system, Hinckley, Brickkiln Street. Burton-on-the-Wolds, Coates and Prestfold Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. C. Betts. Telephone Preference Scheme, Nursing Home, Burton Hall. County Junior School, Barrow Road. Wartime HQ, Village Hall, Burton-on-the-Wolds. Warning siren, Hand Wound at Melton Road, Burton-on-the-Wolds. Radiological Post, Hall Drive, Burton-on-the-Wolds. Loughborough Road. Feeding Centre, County Junior School, Barrow Road. Village Hall. Water Supplies, Village Fountain. First Aid Post, Burton Hall, Burton-on-the-Wolds. Rest Centre, Burton Hall, Burton-on-the-Wolds. Burial Ground, Burton-on-the-Wolds. Burton Overy Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Committee Room, Burton Overy Village Hall. Caldecott Parish Council. Controller, Mr. B. Wright. Wartime HQ, Local Chapel. Warning siren, at House of Local Resident. Carlton Parish Council. Controller, N. Parish. Coordinator, C. J. Pete. Telephone Preference Scheme, Orton Service Station. Wartime HQ, Old School Cottage, Main Street. Bunker, basement of Gatehouse Well Public House. Basement of the Malt Shovel Public House. Water supplies, access to Ashby Canal and Carlton Grange. First Aid Post, The Gate Inn Public House. Rest Centre, Orton Service Station. Information Centre, Orton Service Station. Burial, St Andrew's Church. Notes, several seminars attended plus costs reclaimed from Hinckley and Bosworth Borough Council for costs of maps. Castle Donington Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. B. Townsend. Bunker was planned opposite the library but never built. Charley Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Charley Church Hall. Clawson-Hose and Harby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Long Clawson Village Hall, The Sands, Long Clawson. Claybrick Magna Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Claybrick Magna Village Hall, Main Street. Calorton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Beaumont Centre, Nottingham Road. Cossington Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. J. Gowan. Wartime HQ, Barn at back of Church House. Warning siren, Gate hangs well. Cottesmore Parish Council. Controller, Mr. T. Logan. Wartime HQ, Cottesmore Village Hall. First Aid Post, St. Nicholas School. Notes, a speaker from County Hall attended a public meeting in Cottesmore Village Hall on the 13th of October 1980 to discuss civil defence. All parish council wall posts were filled. Countess Thorpe Parish Council. Coordinator, Mrs. J. Adcock. Telephone Preference Scheme, Parish Council Officers. All Croft Parish Council. Coordinator, M. Middleton. Wartime HQ, Heathcote Arms Public House. Bunker, cellar of Heathcote Arms Public House. Warning siren, hand wound at the Heathcote Arms Public House. Burial, the field off from Arbour Road, Croft. Croxton Kerrial Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. P. M. Smart. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Desford Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Upper School Bosworth College. Warning siren, now demolished, building adjacent to Village Hall. Dunton Bassett Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Dunton Bassett Village Hall, The Mound. Eton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Eton Village Hall, Main Street. Essendine Parish Council. No official records still held, best estimate as follows. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Feeding Centre, Canteen of Village Hall. Water supplies, River Glen. Use was also likely to have been made of Essendine Arms Public House. Essendine Village Church. Exton Parish Council. Coordinator, Mrs. E. Castle. Fleckney Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Fleckney C.F.E. Primary School, Bachelor Road. Foxton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Robert Monk Hall, Middle Street. Feeding Centre, Foxton Primary School, Gallowfield Road. Water, Grand Union Canal. First Aid Post, Village Hall. Burial, Baptist Chapel, Main Street. Freeby Parish Council. Coordinator, C. Manchester. Wartime HQ, Ivy House Farm, Freeby. Warning Receiver, Ivy House Farm, Freeby. Frisbee and Kirby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Frisbee Village Hall, Water Lane. Garthorpe Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Corner Cottage, Coston. Glen Parva Parish Council. Coordinator, R. Noel. Telephone Preference Scheme, County Arms, Leicester Road, Glen Parva. Wartime HQ, County Arms, Leicester Road, Glen Parva. Feeding Centre, County Primary School, Cork Lane, Glen Parva. South Wigston High School, Blaby Road. Water supplies, Grand Union Canal. River Sense. First Aid Post, Memorial Hall, Dorothy Avenue. South Wigston High School, Blaby Road. Rest Centre, County Primary School, Cork Lane, Glen Parva. South Wigston High School, Blaby Road. Information Centre, County Library, Westview Avenue. Burial, Playing Field, Dorothy Avenue. Holtacre off the Bridle. Wigston Fields Football Club, Richmond Avenue. Latrine, Playing Field, Dorothy Avenue. Holtacre off the Bridle. Wigston Fields Football Club, Richmond Avenue. Great Glen Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Local School. Greetham Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Community Centre. Warning Siren, Greetham House. Grimston Parish Council. Notes, possible use of church bells as attack warning method. Groby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Groby Library, Leicester Road. Gunthorpe Parish Meeting. Coordinator, R. J. Matthews. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Bunker, Cellar of Gunthorpe Hall. Hallerton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, the Royal Oak High Street. Bunker, Cellar of the Royal Oak High Street. Feeding Centre, Torch Trust, Hallerton Hall. Stenning Hall, Horn Lane. First Aid Post, Torch Trust, Hallerton Hall. Rest Centre, Hallerton Primary School, Churchgate. Tintab, Churchgate. Chapel, High Street. The Rectory. Information Centre, the Royal Oak High Street. Hambleton Parish Meeting. Controller, T. E. Wilson. Telephone Preference Scheme, Home Number of T. E. Wilson. Wartime HQ, the Finch's Arms. Warning Receiver, the Old Priest House, Upper Hambleton. Warning Siren, the Old Priest House, Upper Hambleton. Hatton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Hatton Village Hall, Dovecote Street. Telephone Preference Scheme, C.V. Primary School, Pasture Lane. Warning Receiver, Loughborough Road, Hatton. Warning Siren, Hand Wound and Maroon Rockets at Loughborough Road, Hatton. Higham on the Hill Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Higham on the Hill Village School. Horn Parish Meeting. Coordinator, Mrs. P. Sharrett. Wartime HQ, Exton Hall. Hotton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Houghton Village Hall. Bunker, cellar of Houghton House. Warning receiver, the Pack Arms. Warning siren, the Pack Arms. Feeding center, the Pack Arms. Burial and latrines, local fields. Horton on the Hill Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Horton on the Hill Village Hall, Main Street. Huncote Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. H. Coupe. Bunker, cellar of Red Lion Public House. Hungerton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Hungerton Village Hall. Husbands, Bosworth Parish Council. Controller, D. M. Elliott. Coordinator, Mrs. E. J. Glithrow. Telephone preference scheme, C.V. Primary School, School Lane. Lavender Blue Cafe, Leicester Road. Police House, Bell Lane. The Rectory, Honeypot Lane. Fernie Lodge Restaurant, Berridges Lane. Wartime HQ, Turville Memorial Hall. Warning receiver, Police Station, Husbands, Bosworth. Warning siren, hand wound and maroon rockets at Police Station, Husbands, Bosworth. Feeding center, Police House, Bell Lane. Water supplies, wells at rear of Bosworth Park. First aid post, the surgery, Kilworth Road. Turville Memorial Hall. Rest center, Police House, Bell Lane. Ilston on the Hill Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Kegworth Parish Council. Coordinator, Ms. L. Pendleton. Bunker, refractory mouldings cellar in Kegworth Marketplace now demolished. Warning siren, as above. Ketton Parish Council. Coordinator, M. Andrew. Wartime HQ, Castle Cement Canteen. Kibworth Beecham Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. D. Bodycote. Telephone preference scheme, High School, School Road, Kibworth. C.V. Primary School, Hillcrest Avenue. Kibworth Court, Smeaton Road. County Fire Station, Fleckney Road, Kibworth. Public Library, Kibworth. Wartime HQ, High Street, Kibworth. Bunker, Working Men's Club in Fleckney has underground dance room with concrete floor above. Warning receiver, County Fire Station, Fleckney Road. Warning siren, hand wound at County Fire Station, Fleckney Road. On top of Factory Corner of Fleckney Road and Dover Street. Radiological post, High Street, Kibworth. Feeding center, C.V. Primary School, Hillcrest Avenue. Water supplies, wells on south side of High Street. Spring down the side of the railway near Dover Street. First aid post, Health Centre, Smeaton Road. Rest Centre, Kibworth Court, Smeaton Road. Information Centre, Public Library, Kibworth. Kibworth Harcourt Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Kibworth Village Hall, Station Street. Kilby Parish Council. Coordinator, Mrs. C. Nisbet. Telephone preference scheme, Kilby C.V. School. Wartime HQ, the Glebe House, off Main Street, Kilby. Warning receiver, Vicarage, off Main Street, Kilby. Warning siren, hand wound as above, also location of maroon rockets. Radiological post, Glebe House, off Main Street, Kilby. Feeding center, Kilby C.V. School. Water supplies, wells at Glebe House. Stream through village. Limes Farm. Broadway Farm. Steeplechase Farm. Monks Farm. First aid post, United Reformed Chapel, Main Street. Dog and Gun Public House, Main Street. Rest Center, Kilby C.V. School. Burial, St. Mary's Church. Latrines, field opposite Main Street. Kimcote and Walton Parish Council. Controller, Mr. C. Gillens. Wartime HQ, Alton Hall. Bunker, cellar of Dog and Gun Public House, Alton. Warning receiver, Alton Hall. Warning siren, Alton Hall. Feeding center, Alton Hall. Water supplies, River Swift. Heathbrook. Various wells, 3 Kimcote and 2 at Walton. First Aid Post, Baptist Church, Walton. Rest Centre, All Saints Church, Kimcote. Village Hall, Walton. Information Centre, Village Hall, Walton. Nossington and Cold Overton Parish Council. Wartime HQs, The Grange, Somerby Road, Nossington. Priory Farm, Osen Road, Nossington. Feeding Centre, The Grange, Somerby Road, Nossington. Fox and Hounds, Somerby Road, Nossington. Water supplies, various springs and wells around the parish. First Aid Post, The Grange, Somerby Road, Nossington. Old Manor House, Somerby Road, Nossington. Rest Centre, Bleak House. Manor House, Osen Road, Nossington. Langham Parish Council. Controller Mr. E. Hainsworth. Wartime HQ, Langham Village Hall. Bunker, cellar of Ruddles Brewery. Lear Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Lear Village Hall, Main Street. Warning Siren, St. Peter's Church, Main Street. Feeding Centre, Lear Village Hall, Main Street. Little Casterton and Tulbar Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. C. E. Borough. Wartime HQ, Hall Farm, Little Casterton. Warning Receiver, The Grange Farm, Pickworth. Radiological Post, Camp Hill Cottage, Little Casterton. Feeding Centre, C of E Primary School, Great Casterton. Casterton College, Great Casterton. Water supplies, spring supply at Tolthorpe, Tulbar and Little Casterton. First Aid Post, The Chapel, Tulbar. Tolthorpe Hall. Hall Farm, Little Casterton. Rest Centre, C of E Primary School, Great Casterton. Casterton College, Great Casterton. Burial, Little Casterton Church. Great Casterton Church. Long Watton and Dysworth Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Dysworth Village Hall, Hallgate. Labenham Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Labenham Village Hall, Lawton Road. Lutterworth Town Council. Wartime HQ, Mechanics Institute, Churchgate, Lutterworth. Linnington Parish Council. Wartime HQ, White Hart Public House. Manton Parish Council. Bunker, Manton Rail Tunnel, 747 yards long. Market Bosworth Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Market Bosworth Community College, Station Road. Market Overton Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. V. Walker. Telephone Preference Scheme, Market Overton Bowls Club. Wartime HQ, Main Street, Market Overton. Warning Receiver, 1 Black Bull Inn Pub, 2 Old Rectory, T. 3 Silverwood Farm. Warning Siren, as above. Radiological Post, Old Hall, Main Street. Water supplies, Manor House, Berry Bushes. Berry Bushes. Main Street. Old Hall, Main Street. Local farms, to be arranged. First Aid Post, Berry Bushes, Doctor's Surgery. Manor House, Berry Bushes. Notes: the village hall was to act as the feeding centre, rest centre, first aid post and information centre. Markfield Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. D. Thomas. Councillor. Warning Siren, Red Lion Public House, Main Street, Markfield. Medbourne Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Medbourne C of E Primary School. Morcott Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Morcott Village Hall. Bunker application made by Stronghold Engineering, see articles under Sheltering the Public, chapter, to convert disused railway tunnel into bunker for those prepared to pay around £1,000 a head. Narborough Parish Council. Controller, Mr. H. J. Cooper. Telephone Preference Scheme, home number of the above. Wartime HQ, Victoria Street. Warning Receiver, Blaby District Council Officers. Warning Siren, Empire Stone Company Limited, Park Road. Feeding Centre, Greystoke School, Thornton Drive. Empire Stone Company Limited, Park Road. Four Seasons Motel. Water supplies, Empire Stone Company Limited, Park Road. Farmhouse, King Edward Avenue. Ashland Farm, Copdoke Road. Thornhill Farm, Narborough. Roundhill Farm, Copdoke Road. Old House Farm, Station Road, Littlethorpe. The Elms Farm, Nuncote. Cook's Lodge Farm, Forest Road. Carlton Hayes Hospital, Forest Road. Red Barn Farm, Narborough Road, Huncote. Mechanical Workshop, Station Road, Littlethorpe. Lodge Farm, Littlethorpe. Copdoke House Farm. Hardwick Lodge Farm, Forest Road, Enderby. Flash Farm, Narborough. Cottage Farm, Desford Road. First Aid Post, Pavilion. Catholic Church. Health Centre. Carlton Hayes. Woodlands Day Hospital. Community Centre, Littlethorpe. Rest Centre, Charnwood Hotel. Enderby House, Leicester Road. Hostel, Huncote Road. Narborough Arms. Plough Inn. Information Centre, County Library. Parish HQ. Burial Cemetery, School Lane. Latrines, open spaces at Park, Sycamore Way, Kipling Drive, Leicester Road Recreation Ground, The Coppice. Newtown Linford Parish Council. Controller Mr. A. R. Brown. Coordinator Mrs. L. Knott. Telephone Preference Scheme, County Primary School, Newtown Linford. Wartime HQ, Sunday School, Bradgate Road. Warning Receiver, Bradgate Arms Public House. Warning Siren, Bradgate Arms Public House. Radiological Post, Groby Lane. Grey Crescent. Feeding Centre, County Primary School, Newtown Linford. Water supplies, brook running through village. Bradgate Park. First Aid Post, Sunday School, Bradgate Road. Rest Centre, County Primary School, Newtown Linford. North Kilworth Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Warning Siren, no siren installed. Possible use of church bells. Oakthorpe and Donisthorpe Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Oakthorpe Methodist Rooms. Donisthorpe Church Hall. Bunker, local pits were planned to be used, water stockpiled. Warning Siren, on Ambulance Station, Oakthorpe. Osbaston Parish Council. Wartime HQ, local farm belonging to council member. Bunker, basement of Osbaston Hall. Osgathorpe Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Harley Trust School Hall, Church Lane. Packington Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Packington Memorial Hall, High Street. Peckleton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Peckleton Village Hall. Pickworth Parish Meeting. Coordinator, Mr. Gilman. Warning Siren, The Grange Farmhouse, Pickworth. Quenebra Parish Council. Coordinator, J. W. Richardson. Telephone Preference Scheme, Quenebra Sewerage Works, East Goscote. C.V. Primary School, Coppice Lane, Quenebra. Wartime HQ, C.V. Primary School, Coppice Lane, Quenebra. Village Hall, Rearsby Road, possible backup. Warning Receiver, Horse and Groom Public House, Quenebra. Warning Siren, Hand Wound and Maroon Rocket, Horse and Groom Public House, Quenebra. Feeding Centre, C.V. Primary School, Coppice Lane, Quenebra. Water supplies, Water Storage Reservoir, South Croxton Road, Quenebra. Borehole off the Ridge Mere, Quenebra. Swimming bath, School Lane, Quenebra. Empty beer barrels at Horse and Groom Public House, Quenebra. The Britannia Public House, Main Street, Quenebra. First Aid Post, C.V. Primary School, Coppice Lane, Quenebra. Rest Centre, C.V. Primary School, Coppice Lane, Quenebra. Information Centre, C.V. Primary School, Coppice Lane, Quenebra. Corn Parish Council. No official records still held, best estimate as follows. Wartime HQ, Village Hall, Leicester Road, Quorn. Warning siren, Vic siren at Wrights Mill, Leicester Road, Quorn. Feeding Centre, Rawlins Community College. Water supplies, Buddenbrook. River Soar. First aid post, Doctor's Surgery, Station Road, Quorn. Ratby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Ratby Village Hall. Ravenston and Snibston Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Plough Inn, Leicester Road, Ravenston. Rearsby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Rearsby Village Hall, Melton Road. Ridlington Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Ridlington Village Hall, Main Street, Ridlington. Warning siren, The Old Vicarage, Hollygate Road. Rothley Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. C. R. Poole. Wartime HQ, Mount Sorrel Lane, Rothley. Bunker, cellar of the above. Warning siren, The Grange ex-rural district council officers. Scraptoft Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Scraptoft Village Institute, Scraptoft Rise. Seagrave Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Seagrave Village Hall, Green Lane. Seaton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Warning siren, George and Dragon Public House. Shackiston Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Congestone Church Rooms, Main Street, Congestone, Nuneaton. Sharnford Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Evergreen Hall, Leicester Road, Sharnford. Sheepy Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Sheepy Memorial Hall, Main Road. Salby Parish Council. Controller, Mrs. B. Crick. Coordinator, Mrs. B. Burton. Telephone Preference Scheme, County Library, Cossington Road. Mental Health Hostel, Cossington Road. Highway Depot, Cemetery Road. County Primary School, Heathcote Drive. Redlands County Primary School, King Street. Wartime HQ, Salby Community Centre, High Street. Warning receiver, Melody Mills, Cossington Road. Warning siren, Melody Mills, Cossington Road. Radiological post, Seagrave Road, Salby. Feeding Centre, Highgate County Primary School, Highgate Road. Water supplies, various wells running through the village. First aid post, St. John's Ambulance, King Street. Rest Centre, Redlands County Primary School, King Street. Mental Health Hostel, Cossington Street. Information Centre, County Library, Cossington Road. Smeaton Westerby Parish Council. Coordinator, Mrs. P. Hunt. Wartime HQ, Smeaton Westerby Village Hall, Main Street. Snareston Parish Council. Controller, Mr. H. Thorpe. Coordinator, Mr. J. T. Haler. Telephone Preference Scheme, County Primary School, Main Street. Wartime HQ, Village Hall, Snareston. Warning receiver, The Lodge, Snareston. Warning siren, Hound Wound and Maroon Rockets at the Lodge, Snareston. Feeding Centre, County Primary School, Main Street. First Aid Post and Rest Centre, County Primary School, Main Street. Information Centre, County Primary School, Main Street. Somerby Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Somerby Memorial Hall, High Street. Bunker, basement of Stilton Cheese Public House, High Street. South Croxton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, South Croxton Village Hall, School Lane. South Kilworth Parish Council. Wartime HQ, South Kilworth Village Hall, North Road. South Luffenham Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. P. Hodson. Wartime HQ, Boot and Shoe Public House. Bunker, cellar of Boot and Shoe Public House. If it had been built then the Morcott disused railway tunnel. Warning siren, Hand Wound at Boot and Shoe Public House. Water supplies, several springs in village. Burial, St. Mary's Church. Sprosen Parish Council. Controller, S. W. Birch. Coordinator, K. Birch. Wartime HQ, Sprosen Village Hall. Warning siren, hand wound siren, village post office. Hand wound, Nags Head Public House, Saltby. Feeding centre, CV Primary School, Main Street, Saltby. Water supplies, village wells. River Iye runs close to parish. First aid post, village hall, Sprosin. Chapel School, Stonesby. Nags Head Public House. Rest centre, CV Primary School, Main Street, Saltby. Village Hall, Sprosin. Chapel School, Stonesby. Information Centre, Post Office, Sprosin. Post Office, Stonesby. Stony Stanton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Stoughton Parish Council. Controller, Mr. J. Phillips. Wartime HQ, Stoughton Village Hall, Galby Lane. Sutton Cheney Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Sutton Cheney Village Hall, Main Street. Swannington Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Village Hall. Swinford Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Chequers Public House. Warning siren, Village Post Office. Swithland Parish Meeting. Coordinator, W. Gartin. Wartime HQ, Griffin in Swithland. Bunker, cellar of the above. Warning siren, as above. Syston Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Syston Community Centre. Thadingworth Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Syston Community Centre. Thrussington Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Thrussington Village Hall. Thurcaston and Cropston Parish Council. Use was to be made of local public houses. Thurcaston Village. Wheatsheaf in Anstey Lane. King William IV, Mill Road. Cropston Village. Bradgate Arms, Station Road. A Reservoir Public House, Cropston Road. Thurleston Parish Council. Controller, Mr. W. Harrison. Bunker, cellar of the Dog and Gun in Church Street, Thurleston. Warning siren, Village Post Office. Feeding centre, CV Primary School. First aid post, school is above. Thurmaston Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Memorial Hall, 422 Melton Road. Tilton on the Hill Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Tilton on the Hill Village Hall. Tixover Parish Meeting. Wartime HQ, Village Hall, Duddington. Turlangton Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Turlangton Village Hall. Twycross Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Twycross Village Hall. Twyford and Thorpe Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Twyford Village Hall, Main Street. Ulsthorpe Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Ulsthorpe Memorial Hall. Uppingham Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Uppingham Town Hall, High Street East. Waltham on the Wolds Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Waltham Primary School, Main Road. Walton on the Wolds Parish Council. Coordinator, Mrs. D. M. Wright. Telephone preference scheme, The Old Manor House, Loughborough Road, Walton. Wartime HQ, The Old Manor House, Loughborough Road, Walton. Bunker, cellar of the Green, Walton. Radiological post, Roseville Farm, 6 Hills Road, Walton. Water supplies, various wells and springs in the village. First aid post, Village Hall. Whetstone Parish Council. Coordinator, Mr. C. E. Wright. Telephone preference scheme, Whetstone Primary School, High Street, Whetstone. Whetstone Sewage Works. County Home, Whetstone Pastures. CV Primary School, Whale Road. Wartime HQ, Whetstone Primary School, High Street, Whetstone. Feeding Centre, Whetstone Primary School, Whale Road. GEC Power Engineering, Cambridge Road. Whetstone Pastures. Water supplies, Crossways Farm. Whetstone Gorse Farm, East. First aid post, College House, The Crestway. United Reformed Church, High Street. GEC Power Engineering. Whetstone Pastures. Rest Centre, Whetstone Primary School, Whale Road. Whetstone Baptist Church Hall, King Street. Whetstone United Reformed Church, High Street. Memorial Hall, High Street. Whetstone Pastures. Information Centre, Whetstone Primary School, High Street. Burial, Whetstone Cemetery, Cemetery Road. Latrines, Trinity Road Recreation Ground. Wissendine Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Wissendine CFE Primary School, Main Street. Whitwell Parish Meeting. Wartime HQ, at the Parish Council Chairman's House. Willoughby Wortley's Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Willoughby Wortley's Village Hall. Wing Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Wing Community Centre, Morcott Road. Warning Siren, Wing Hall. Woodhouse Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Woodhouse Eaves Village Hall, Main Street, Woodhouse Eaves. Wymeswold Parish Council. Coordinator, Mrs. K. W. King. Telephone Preference Scheme, Parish Clerk and Councillors' Home Numbers. Wartime HQ, Methodist School Room, Chapel Bar, Wymeswold. Warning Receiver, 3 Crowns Inn, Far Street, Wymeswold. Warning Siren, Hand Wound and Maroon Rockets at 3 Crowns Inn, Far Street, Wymeswold. Radiological Post, Manor House. Feeding Centre, CFE Primary School, Far Street. Water Supplies, Brook running through Village. First Aid Post, HSPE, Wymeswold Hall, East Road. Rest Centre, Methodist School Room. Information Centre, Manor House. Burial Cemetery, Brempstone Road. Wyndham Parish Council. Wartime HQ, Wyndham Village Hall, Church Lane.